Hi, I am Carolina, and this has to be one take because I am so late with this and I am so tired. So, I've been sober for 80 days. I want to share with you what I have learned. First of all, I love being sober. Who knew? Well, I had a feeling that I might really end up enjoying this. Now I can tell you I've been sober for 80 days. This is the longest that I have been sober for in my adult life, and I really love it. My point or goal is to find that one state of mind, it's probably many states of mind, where I feel so good, sober, that I don't want to ruin it with any kind of substance, but for sure not alcohol. When I was first practicing how I'm gonna say no to any kind of offer of a drink, this time around, I thought, what kind of mindset should I be in? I am feeling so good that I don't want anything to drink. Thank you. That really, really worked for me. When I'm thinking about this, I'm usually thinking about how am I feeling? Am I feeling good enough? When I hold workshops for the Sober November campaign in Hungary, I usually tell people that I think people want to drink because for a plethora of things. Some people want to drink to socialize, and some people want to drink to feel better or be more talkative. But generally, I think people drink because they want to change how they feel internally. If you're feeling a bit anxious when you arrive to a party, or if you're feeling a bit worked up about work after a long day at work, then you have a drink. So I've been talking to people and workshopping around the ruler approach, which I think comes out from MIT. It's a 2x2 quadrant, or 4 quadrants. There is pleasantness and energy. When you are high energy and unpleasant, you're in the red. This is where you're angry or mad or worried. When you have low energy and low pleasantness, that's when you're sad and tired and depressed. When you have high pleasantness but still low energy, that's when you are calm and peaceful and comfortable. And when you are high energy and high pleasantness, that's when you are brave and happy and energized. So usually when I feel an urge to drink, I don't really these days, but when I feel an urge to drink, I think, how am I feeling right now? Where would I put myself in this mood meter? Am I feeling pleasant or unpleasant? Am I feeling high energy or low energy? And by just focusing on how I'm feeling, I really get a sense of the urge going away. Once I figure out why I am feeling like I am feeling, it's easier for me to not drink anything or not have an urge anymore. Drinking was definitely a way of connecting for me. I used to be able to have really hearty and good conversations with my father when we would sit down to have a bottle of wine together. And I think it was my way of connecting to other people also, drinking together and being merry, or having a lot of fun, or partying together and going out together. And that's when I felt like we could maybe arrive to a sense of camaraderie, if that makes sense. after this weekend, I think I have unlocked a new achievement, and the more days I spend sober and the more opportunities I miss and stay sober, the more I feel connected to myself. I had a bachelorette party invitation. One of my dearest friends, who I drank so much with over the past probably 15 years, is getting married, and so she decided she wanted to have a bachelorette party where we went to a different city together and hung out at an apartment house with a jacuzzi and a pool and a sauna, and went to a wine tasting and all that jazz for bachelorette parties. So I wrote to her and said, I'm staying sober for the beginning of this year. I am still happy to come if you want me there. And of course she said she thinks it will be fun. This weekend started at around 10:45 on the Saturday morning of the bachelorette party, and we went to brunch and the girls started having mimosas, and I love day drinking, but I didn't have any mimosas. And then we got on the tram together because it was her wish to go on a train and train to Lake Balaton, to where we were staying. And of course the girls were drinking on the train, and it was really fun. Some people came to us and talked to us, and we even had a chance to talk to the entire audience of the train, because I was sober and I could vouch that we won't be really rowdy. And so it was a really fun trip. And then we went to the apartment house, and since I was still sober, I was the one who kind of looked at how the jacuzzi had to be turned on and how the sauna had to be made to function. And I looked at all the rooms and all the things that we had to pay attention to. So it was me being like a mom a little bit to the other girls, but it was also a lot of fun. And I felt like I really had a position in the entire bachelorette party. We went to the wine tasting, where I had syrups and some juice, and I could sit there and learn about wines and talk and had fun. I think for me there was a little bit of an uncomfortable moment at the wine tasting, because it was getting a little rowdy and I was feeling a little bit out of place. So I was the one who was earliest to go back to the apartment. But when we were taken to the apartment, I already had the things rolling with turning on the pool and the sauna. So I was really like a housewife, making sure that everything was set for everyone to enjoy the facilities of the apartment building. A lot of alcohol, and we ordered some non-alcoholic champagne for me. And we had really good conversations in the pool and had really good conversations in the house. And we were all rowdy and danced and drank and sang in the darkness. But I really didn't miss drinking. The point is that I was having so much fun with these girls that I really didn't think I needed to drink anything. So that was a really good experience. And then the next morning we woke up. I was so happy I wasn't hungover. I made everyone coffee who wanted coffee, and we packed everything up and went back to the train station and had a lot of fun. I definitely think I made a better impression on everyone than I would have had I been drinking. But I also think it was better for me not to drink. First of all, because I wasn't hungover, but secondly, because I felt good, and I can remember everything that I can remember. My memory isn't so great, but it was a lot of fun. Another key takeaway for me is that in the past 80 days, I created the morning routine, and I already lost the morning routine. After my Vipassana retreat, I figured out a morning routine where I did physical therapy and I took my supplements and I did an hour of meditation, and that lasted for a few weeks and it was really fun. But somehow it got lost in the day in and day out of life, which I'm not so happy about, and I'm gonna try to put the morning routine back to my daily routine. But it's not because of the drinking or the non-drinking, it's because I lead a hectic life, and really one of the takeaways is that not drinking doesn't fix all the problems. It just doesn't make it worse, right? So staying sober gives me more energy, makes me more willing to wake up the next day no matter what happened. I also figured that the greatest thing to change your consciousness is really sleep deprivation. I feel like I, at this bachelorette party, had a real sense of camaraderie in drinking, even though I wasn't drinking alcohol. I felt like I was getting drunk just hanging out with the girls, and I really had fun. Just by staying up with them, I felt I was getting a little loopy and not so sharp, but I had a lot of fun, really, and I slept so well. I was so tired after a long day of them drinking. I also figured out that I have cycles. Et voila, this is life. Now I know I can't blame it on being hangover, so it's really me paying more attention to how my body functions and what I experience and what my loved ones affect on me, or how I let other people in to my consciousness. I hate to say it, but everything revolves around cycles in this life. The earth goes around the sun in cycles, and the seasons change. Hopefully summer is coming soon, because I'm so tired of the winter now. The human body also functions in cycles, and we women have been told to sometimes act like we don't have cycles, or maybe keep it a secret. There is a joke about how if men had periods, then everybody would know that they have periods, because they would be like, oh, are you on your period too? But for us women, it's a harder topic, and I can really testify that now that I'm sober, I pay more attention to how my cycles affect my moods and how eating affects my mood. So it's been a great journey in self-discovery as well. I have told you already, but I have to put it in words. It's the people, good or bad. When I'm around people that I can't really open up, or if they don't really want to be with me, I can sense this. But since now I don't numb myself, I'd rather just leave the situation, or don't even get into the situation. It's really freeing to be able to say, I'm sober, I'm just gonna get in my car and leave. I haven't been out much. Last time I had a 2 months and 2 weeks and 5 days sobriety journey last year. I still went out to party with my friends, and I was really assisting them with partying, and I went all over the place, even though I wasn't taking any drugs or I wasn't drinking. But now I feel like I have arrived to a space in my life where I don't even feel like I want to go out. So what's interesting is that this is probably the first time in my life when I would rather stay home and be by myself, in my adult life for sure, than go out and party or go to a place where I don't know if I'm gonna have fun. I'm really thankful for this. Some of the things that I have rediscovered is that I love reading, and I love drawing and listening to audiobooks and going to concerts or art exhibitions. So I am really rediscovering myself, how I used to be, what I used to do when I was little. And I quite enjoyed that too. So it's the people, good or bad. Sometimes it's bad, you have more freedom, or I have more freedom for myself to say, I don't want to hang out with you. When it's good, I more readily realize that I really love hanging out with these people, like I did at this bachelorette party. And it's you, or in this case, it's me. I am really having fun with myself, and I am opening up new layers of myself and how I accept my art. It was the first time this time around that when I was drawing, I finally realized I'm never gonna draw like my friends who went to design school or my friends who are artists. I'm gonna draw like I draw. And that gave me full acceptance of all the motifs and forms and shapes that come out of my fingers. That's how I draw. That's my art. I think this is the first time when I more readily share the process and what I'm doing, and I really love it. And I also got deeper into my projects, but as I said, there are cycles. So mostly throughout last week, I was really just struggling getting out of bed and putting two things together. And really, I was forcing myself a lot, but then I realized I don't want to force anything. I want to move with life. And so I said, if I don't feel like it, I'm just gonna give it some time and maybe work up my determination or my wanting to do the job or the project. This week, my biggest news is still the deadline. I am moving forward with a lot of my projects, and I'm really thankful for this. But it is really a self-discovering process. I have also been eating a lot of sweets. Someone told me that you can't really quit alcohol or partying because you don't give yourself something that you soothe yourself with instead. So I, in the past few weeks, have been allowing myself to eat a little more sweets, but maybe I have just gotten into more situations where huge shakes and whipped cream was available, and I decided not to stop myself from having them, and I had a lot of fun and I enjoyed the sweets a lot. Last year I discovered that I have really high highs and really low lows after consuming a lot of sugar. So now I was more readily prepared for these lows, and I wasn't surprised, and I accepted them and I let them go through me. I also went on a couple dates in these 80 days, and I was so happy I wasn't drinking. I could really get to know the other person and not drink myself to enjoy their company and not do anything stupid or uncalled for. So I really had fun on those dates, and I'm thankful that the people that I went on dates with were also accepting of the fact that I wasn't drinking. It was a new experience and it was really good as well. And I have another page for my takeaways. Part of the meditation practice that I learned is to get to know that everything is always changing and to accept this fact. And sobriety this time around came to me together with the Vipassana retreat, so I can't detach the two. I really enjoy accepting that everything is changing. These videos are for me to document my journey, but I am giving in more freely to where I post or what I write. I hopefully will be organized enough one day to write a book, but I am just enjoying the process right now, and I am really trying not to put too much pressure on myself, but to have more fun with however life is turning out. And I'm so thankful I'm in a position to be able to do this. I am also always try to look at everything as a point of view, as you know, or as you don't know. Let me tell you, everybody's point of view is just 100% correct from their point of view, just as much as your point of view is 100% correct from your point of view. So sobriety really helped me be a little more understanding and perhaps a little more patient. I'm really enjoying the process. Of course, I'm not perfect, and sometimes I get triggered, or I get upset, or I get anxious, but more often than not, I am able to not react immediately, but wait a little bit and only respond. Not always, but a lot of times I am able to view my feelings and look at how I am feeling instead of being completely drowning in my feelings. So everyone's point of view is just 100% correct from where they are standing. So be understanding is what I can say from my sober journey. Try not to take anything personal or personally. That's also a journey for me. I don't know how much people can understand this. I am really a main character energy, if I can say so. And so it took me 35 years just about to figure out not everything is about me, and maybe people don't even recognize me. So I try to look at things from a more reserved standpoint, and I'm really having fun with it. Of course, I don't always succeed, but that gives me the learning opportunity. I've been thoughtful about connecting with old and new friends. I have reached out to a few friends and I have asked them for input and for a phone call or a video call, and it's been really rewarding. Both old and new friends are seemingly very proud of me, and I'm really happy that I get a chance to connect with them from across the globe. And I have been, I think, pretty good about expressing my feelings and my appreciation for those close to me, but this sober journey brings me more appreciation even, and more consciousness about, or more thoughtfulness about connecting with people. And I think that's really healthy for me. As I said, I used to be able to mainly connect through partying and drinking. I have gone to the Vipassana retreat with the distinct goal of getting more in touch with my intuition. We can think about intuition as long-term learning when you don't even know from where you know something, you know it internally. It's your compound knowledge. I haven't been feeling like I was connected to my intuition, and I think these 80 days have showed me that I am stepping in the right direction. So it's long-term learning, and it's really paying attention to how I am feeling in a moment, or what I am feeling in a moment. And when I connect to old friends, or when I talk to someone, I really try to see how my body is reacting and what signals it's giving me. And I am positive that I am going in the direction of being more in tune with my intuition and with whatever the universe is trying to tell me. but whatever my body is trying to tell me in certain situations. What I learned is that I don't have to drink to be silly. I always thought that it was a project for me to fit in, but to keep my main character energy. And I think these 80 days and definitely this bachelorette party showed me that I am just as silly as I am as if I were drinking. So I don't really need drinking to be going crazy or to be silly. And with the right people, I can have so much fun. I love this takeaway because it's taken me a long time to blossom into who I am. I was thinking about this in an Instagram post the other day. I said, are you becoming who you were meant to be from the beginning? Like Michelangelo said, I saw the angel in the marble, I just had to graft away. Or are you developing into whoever you want to be? It can be seen that these are two opposing ideas. But how I made sense of it is that maybe we are like plants, like flowers. You are not gonna bring roses if you are a cactus, even though you have similar qualities, like having a thorn or being sometimes hurtful to humans. But with the right kind of atmosphere, even cacti can flower. They're never gonna become roses, but they can flower. And so what I thought about is, what is the best way for me to water myself and to take care of myself to be able to flower? I think sobriety is one of these ways. I'm really having fun with this sober journey. So I don't have to drink to be silly. I just have to find the right people who can take my silliness as I am. And so my final key takeaway is that I have to find me. And if you are stepping on this sober journey, you have to find you as well. But it's a really fun, and I can't lie to you and say it's always fun. It's ups and downs, as I said. Your body has cycles, just as the day changes to the night, and again it changes into the day. You have ups and downs of life and of projects and of challenges and of meeting people. But if you can take a step back and view everything from an outside perspective, as Sam Harris says, there is only the river. So as you can view everything happening, you will find some beauty in this sober journey of sobriety. And I don't think it fixes all the things in life, right? So turning sober is not gonna make all the problems magically disappear or the projects magically finish themselves, but it gives a really good new perspective, and it gives a lot of energy. Sometimes you are unable to get off the couch, or I am definitely. But I do have to tell you that it seemed like a breeze. These 80 days went by so fast, and I had so much fun, and I had so low lows, but I could see that I was participating in my life, not drinking my problems away, but facing them more often than not, and connecting to the people who I care for and who I enjoy, and getting into uncomfortable situations when we didn't agree on something, and doing podcast recordings and doing live shows and doing coaching sessions and facilitating workshops and going on dates and even going on a bachelorette party. I had quite a few experiences, and it really seemed like it went so fast up until I downloaded an app to count my days, and then around day 75, time stopped. Because I looked at my phone, somebody told me, I think, that people usually pick up their phone around 200 times a day. Well, 200 times a day I looked at the phone, and it was still only day 75. But now even the app doesn't make me think about sobriety so much in a day, because I have so many things going on. But long story short, or long story long, I'm 80 days sober. I'm really happy about it. I am very surprised how happy I am about it. I am working a lot with my life backlog, and I'm doing some projects, and I'm really having fun with everything that's going on. And I hope I can give a little bit of an insight into what it's like to be sober, and if you feel like you want to start with a sober journey, I hope that I could give you some motivation to actually step into your character and start on your sober journey. If you like this episode, subscribe to my channel, Fancy Carolina. Find me on most social media places as Fancy Carolina, or on my website fancycarolina.com. And I hope to see you next time.